Have you ever noticed how certain changes don't announce themselves with a loud bang? They just quietly appear one morning, and once you see them, you can't unsee them? Maybe it's the heaviness you feel when you first swing your legs out of bed. Maybe it's the way your energy used to last all day, but now starts to fade by mid-afternoon. Or maybe it's in those private moments when you realize something that once felt effortless now requires more focus, more effort, and sometimes leaves you wondering, when did this change happen? If that sounds familiar, I want you to hear this. You're not broken. You haven't failed at aging. What you're experiencing is your body asking for a new kind of attention, a different kind of fuel. I'm Dr. Maya Kapoor, and after more than 3 decades of working with men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, I've learned something most doctors never say plainly. Your body is capable of more than you think, even now. But you can't feed it the same way you did at 30 or 40 and expect it to perform at its best. The fuel has to match the machine you're driving today. The good news? Restoring energy, vitality, and even bedroom confidence isn't about chasing miracle pills or signing up for punishing routines you'll dread. Sometimes, the most powerful changes start with something so small, so ordinary, you'd never expect it to matter. A handful of the right nuts. And I'm not talking about candy-coated snack mixes or salted bar food. I mean whole, nutrient-rich nuts in their pure form. They've been praised in traditional cultures for centuries, and now modern science confirms why. They can strengthen your heart, improve circulation, support hormone balance, and boost performance in ways that quietly, steadily change how you feel day to day. But here's the key. At this stage of life, you don't just need more food or more protein. You need the kind of nourishment that works with your body's aging systems, not against them. You need fuel that supports blood flow, lowers inflammation, and helps keep your hormones in a healthy rhythm, all essential if you want to move through your day with strength, clarity, and the confidence that you can still rise to any occasion, including the ones behind closed doors. That's why today I'm sharing 3 of the most powerful nuts for men over 60. And when I say powerful, I mean they address the exact issues most men in this stage of life face: sluggish circulation, declining testosterone, and inconsistent energy. Each nut works in a slightly different way, but together they create a foundation that supports your body from the inside out. Let's start with the walnut. You might think of walnuts as something you sprinkle over a salad or mix into banana bread, but in reality, they're one of nature's most concentrated tools for male vitality. They're rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which keep your blood vessels flexible and your circulation smooth. Think of your circulatory system like the fuel line in a car. When it's clear and functioning well, everything downstream works better. That includes your heart, your brain, and yes, your sexual performance. Walnuts also contain high levels of an amino acid called arginine. Your body converts arginine into nitric oxide, the same compound prescription ED medications are designed to mimic. This compound relaxes your blood vessels, letting more oxygen-rich blood flow exactly where it's needed. The result is stronger, more reliable performance without synthetic chemicals. And the benefits don't stop there. Walnuts are loaded with antioxidants that protect your brain from age-related decline. Because let's face it, confidence in the bedroom isn't just about what your body can do. It's about how focused and present you feel while you're there. The best way to get these benefits is to eat walnuts raw and unsalted. A small handful each day is plenty. You can toss them into Greek yogurt with some fresh fruit, stir them into oatmeal, or just snack on them in the afternoon when you feel your energy dip. The healthy fats will also help keep hunger and sugar cravings in check, making it easier to maintain a steady energy level all day long. Now, if walnuts are your circulatory ally, Brazil nuts are your hormonal bodyguard. They're the single richest natural source of selenium, a trace mineral that plays a critical role in testosterone production, immune function, and even mood regulation. Just one Brazil nut contains more than 100% of your daily selenium requirement. And that matters because after 60, your body naturally produces less testosterone. And without enough selenium, that drop-off can happen faster and hit harder. Low testosterone isn't just about reduced libido. It's about muscle loss, lower energy, less motivation, and sometimes a flatness in mood that makes life feel muted. I've seen men perk up in both body and spirit just by adding 1 or 2 Brazil nuts to their daily routine. But, and this is important, more is not better because selenium is so concentrated in Brazil nuts. Eating too many can cause problems. 1 or 2 a day is all you need to keep your levels healthy and your hormone production supported. Finally, we have almonds, the multitasker of the nut world. They're high in magnesium, protein, healthy fats, and zinc, all of which directly influence energy, metabolism, and sexual health. Magnesium, in particular, is essential for muscle function, nerve signaling, and stress regulation. Low magnesium levels can lead to poor sleep, anxiety, fatigue, and, you guessed it, decreased libido. I've had countless patients tell me that after adding a handful of almonds to their daily routine, they not only felt steadier in their energy, but their sleep improved, their mood lifted, and their mornings felt easier. Almonds also help stabilize blood sugar, so you avoid those midday crashes that leave you dragging your feet. You can eat them raw, soak them overnight for easier digestion, or blend them into a smoothie for a creamy texture and nutrient boost. What I love about these 3 nuts, walnuts, Brazil nuts, and almonds, is that they don't work like a quick shot of caffeine or a pill that wears off. They build you up from the inside, giving your body what it needs to run smoothly and respond naturally. When you support your circulation, hormones, and energy together, you create the conditions for real, lasting vitality. And here's the best part. They're simple. You don't need to overhaul your diet or add complicated steps to your day. Just a few intentional choices, sprinkling walnuts on your breakfast, setting aside 2 Brazil nuts after lunch, grabbing a handful of almonds instead of a sugary snack, can, over time, add up to something remarkable. This is about more than just living longer. It's about living better. Walking into a room with energy in your step, waking up with clarity in your mind, feeling connected to your partner, not just emotionally, but physically. These nuts won't do the work for you, but they'll give your body the tools it's been quietly asking for. So, as we move into the next part, we'll talk about exactly how these foods affect your body at a biological level and why the results you get from them at 60 or 70 can sometimes feel even more powerful than when you were younger. When I tell men over 60 that 3 simple foods, walnuts, Brazil nuts, and almonds, can help restore circulation, balance hormones, and bring back natural energy, I can almost see the skepticism in their eyes. It's not that they doubt food has power. It's that they've been conditioned to believe that anything truly effective must come from a pharmacy, in a box or a bottle, with a label they can barely pronounce. But here's the truth. Your body doesn't speak the language of synthetic chemicals as fluently as it speaks the language of real food. For decades, it has relied on nutrients, minerals, and compounds from nature to repair itself, regulate its systems, and adapt to change. When you give it those resources in the right form and the right amount, even in your 60s or 70s, the response can be remarkable. Let's start with circulation, because if blood isn't moving freely, nothing else works the way it should. Healthy blood flow is the foundation of energy, clarity, and sexual performance. Walnuts, with their omega-3 fatty acids and arginine, aren't just good for the heart in a general sense. They actively help your blood vessels relax and expand. This is called vasodilation, and it's what allows oxygen-rich blood to reach every cell, from your brain to your toes, to the most intimate parts of your body. I've had patients who'd given up on intimacy altogether because of poor circulation. They thought the problem was irreversible, but after a few months of incorporating walnuts daily, not as a snack they mindlessly chewed, but as an intentional part of a balanced routine, they began noticing changes: warmer hands and feet, less heaviness in their legs after standing, and, perhaps most importantly for them, stronger, more reliable responses during arousal. This isn't magic, it's biology, and biology doesn't retire when you do. It just needs a different approach. Now let's talk hormones, because this is where Brazil nuts quietly shine. Selenium, their signature nutrient, works like a conductor in the hormonal orchestra, especially for testosterone. Without enough selenium, your body's ability to produce testosterone weakens. And when testosterone dips too low, it's not just about desire. Your muscles lose tone, your bones lose density, and your mood loses its spark. One of my patients, David, a retired pilot in his late 60s, told me he felt flat. Not depressed exactly, just muted. He didn't have the drive to start projects, didn't feel much like socializing, and had slowly drifted away from the physical side of his marriage. His diet was fine by most standards: lean proteins, vegetables, whole grains. But he was missing a critical piece. We added just 2 Brazil nuts a day to his routine. Within 8 weeks, he told me his wife had noticed the change before he did. He was getting up earlier, initiating more conversations, even joking more. Those 2 nuts weren't a cure-all, but they were a spark, reigniting a hormonal rhythm that had been running low for years. The important thing to remember with Brazil nuts is moderation. Because selenium is so concentrated, too much can cause problems. 1 or 2 a day is the sweet spot. Then there's magnesium, the mineral hero of almonds. Think of magnesium as your body's natural relaxer. It calms the nervous system, helps muscles contract and release smoothly, and plays a role in producing energy at the cellular level. Without enough magnesium, stress lingers longer in your body. Your sleep becomes shallow. Your recovery from exercise or even daily activities slows down. And here's a detail many men miss: low magnesium can directly affect sexual performance. Stress hormones like cortisol compete with sex hormones for your body's attention. If your system is constantly on alert, it's harder to switch into a state of physical intimacy. Almonds help shift that balance back, giving your body the calm, nourished baseline it needs to respond fully. I remember George, a 71-year-old former carpenter who'd been waking up tired for years. He thought it was just part of aging, but when we looked closer, his magnesium levels were low. We added a handful of almonds to his breakfast and encouraged him to soak them overnight to improve absorption. After a month, he was sleeping more deeply, waking up with real energy, and telling me, with a shy grin, that his mornings felt different in more ways than one. When you combine these 3, walnuts for circulation, Brazil nuts for hormones, almonds for calm energy, you're addressing the most common culprits behind low vitality in older men. Inflammation goes down, Blood flow improves, hormonal balance stabilizes, energy becomes steadier. And that combination doesn't just change how your body feels, it changes how you carry yourself, how you connect with others, how you show up in your own life. It's also worth noting that the benefits extend beyond intimacy. Better circulation means better brain function, clearer thinking, sharper memory. Balanced hormones mean more consistent mood and motivation. And steady energy means you can do more of the things that make life rich, whether that's playing with your grandchildren, working in the garden, or traveling without feeling drained. But I know what you might be thinking. If it's this simple, why isn't every man over 60 doing it? The answer comes down to habit and awareness. Many men don't realize how much control they still have over these aspects of their health. They assume that decline is inevitable, so they don't bother experimenting with changes that could help. That's why the next step is so important, knowing exactly how to make these foods part of your day in a way that's easy, sustainable, and enjoyable. Because when something is simple enough to stick with, the benefits multiply over time. In the next part, we'll go into the daily strategies I recommend to my patients, when to eat these nuts, how to pair them with other foods for maximum benefit, and the small tweaks that can make your body even more responsive to their nutrients. You'll see how a few minutes of intention each day can lead to weeks, months, and years of better performance, deeper energy, and a stronger sense of self. When I work with men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, one of the first questions they ask, often with a mix of hope and hesitation, is, "All right, Dr. Kapoor, how do I actually do this?" They don't want vague advice. They want a plan, something simple enough to remember, practical enough to fit into their life, and effective enough to make a difference. So let's get specific. If you want these 3 nuts, walnuts, Brazil nuts, and almonds, to work for you, it's not just about eating them whenever you remember. Timing, pairing, and consistency all matter. Think of it like tending to a classic car. You don't just toss in fuel when you feel like it. You give it the right type at the right intervals so it runs smoothly year after year. Start your day strong. Morning is when your body is most receptive to nutrients. After a night of rest, your digestive system is primed to absorb vitamins, minerals, and healthy fats. I often recommend starting the day with almonds. Their magnesium helps calm the nervous system, while their protein and healthy fats give you steady energy without a sugar spike. You can soak 6 to 8 almonds overnight in a glass of water. In the morning, peel the skins for easier digestion and eat them alongside a protein-rich breakfast, like eggs, Greek yogurt, or a smoothie. Soaking also activates enzymes in the almonds, making their nutrients more bioavailable. Mid-morning circulation boost. Around 10 or 11 a.m., before lunch, is a great time for walnuts. This is when blood sugar naturally dips, and reaching for something sugary can lead to an energy crash later. Instead, a small handful of raw, unsalted walnuts, about 5 to 6 halves, will give you omega-3s and arginine to keep your circulation humming. Pair them with a piece of fruit like an apple or some berries, which add antioxidants that work synergistically with the walnut's healthy fats. Hormonal support after lunch. Right after your midday meal is the perfect moment for Brazil nuts. Just 1 or 2 is enough to meet your selenium needs for the day. Because selenium is fat-soluble, eating Brazil nuts with a meal that contains healthy fats, like olive oil on your salad or avocado on whole grain toast, helps your body absorb it more efficiently. Many of my patients keep a small container of Brazil nuts in their desk drawer or car. That way, it becomes part of their routine without feeling like a chore. Why timing matters. Spacing these out through the day does two important things. It avoids overloading your digestive system with too much fat at once, and it gives your body a steady supply of the compounds it needs to maintain circulation, hormone balance, and energy. But food is just one part of the equation. How you live around these choices matters just as much. Hydration is non-negotiable. Even the best nutrients can't circulate well if your blood volume is low from dehydration. Aim for half your body weight in ounces of water each day, more if you're active or in a hot climate. Infusing water with lemon or cucumber can make it more refreshing. Movement keeps the engine running. These nuts will give your body the raw materials for vitality, but you still need to use that energy. A 20-30 minute walk after meals improves circulation, aids digestion, and helps regulate blood sugar. Gentle resistance training 2 to 3 times a week preserves muscle mass, which is essential for hormonal health and physical performance. Sleep is your silent partner. No nutrient can fully compensate for chronic sleep deprivation. Quality sleep allows your body to repair tissue, regulate hormones, and restore mental clarity. I often suggest an evening snack of a few almonds or walnuts paired with a small portion of cherries or kiwi, both rich in compounds that support deeper sleep. Real-life transformations. Let me share a story. Harold, 68, came to me feeling drained in every sense. He'd been waking up tired, skipping breakfast, and relying on coffee and sugary snacks to get through the day. His blood pressure was creeping up, and his confidence in the bedroom had faded. We built him a routine: soaked almonds at breakfast, walnuts mid-morning, Brazil nuts after lunch, plus short walks after each meal. No drastic diet overhauls, no pills. Within 6 weeks, Harold reported better morning energy, steadier moods, and a rekindled interest in intimacy. His blood pressure improved, and his wife told him she noticed the old Harold coming back. The beauty of this approach is that it's sustainable. You're not chasing a quick fix. You're building a foundation that supports you day in and day out. And here's something I want every man to remember. The effects of these habits compound. The longer you nourish your circulation, hormones, and energy consistently, the more resilient your body becomes to stress, illness, and the wear and tear of aging. In our final part, I'm going to take you beyond the nuts themselves to the mindset that makes these changes last. Because knowing what to do is one thing, believing in why you're doing it, and feeling motivated to keep going is what will carry you into the years ahead stronger, healthier, and more confident than you imagined possible. Here's the part most men overlook: the mindset. You can know exactly which foods to eat, how much, and when, but if you don't believe change is still possible, the habit fades before it ever has the chance to work. I've seen it time and again. A man starts strong, follows the plan for a week or two, but then an old thought creeps in. What's the point? I'm too old for this to make a difference. That thought is the real enemy, not age itself. The truth is, your body is constantly rebuilding. Even now, your cells renew. Your blood vessels can become more flexible. Your hormones can stabilize, and your energy systems can adapt if you give them the right fuel and consistency. Walnuts, Brazil nuts, and almonds aren't just food. They're signals to your body that you're still investing in it, that it's still worth repairing and strengthening. I remember Frank, a 73-year-old widower, who told me he wasn't interested in all that health stuff anymore. He said, "I'm past my prime, doc." But after a heart scare, he decided to try the routine, not for vanity, but to feel steady and independent. 3 months later, he wasn't just walking farther and sleeping better. He was talking about meeting new friends, cooking for himself again, and laughing in my office. The spark had returned, not because of the nuts alone, but because he'd started to believe his future was still worth improving. That's why I want you to think of this as more than a diet tweak. It's a daily act of reclaiming control. Every time you choose those almonds over a processed snack, or remember your 2 Brazil nuts after lunch, you're reinforcing a message. I'm still in the game. And the more often you send that message, the more your body and mind start to align with it. Because when your circulation is strong, your hormones balanced, and your energy steady, you don't just add years to your life, you add life to your years. So here's my challenge. Commit to this for 30 days. No skipping because you're busy. No, I'll start next week. Just 1 month of showing up for yourself in this simple, tangible way. Notice how your mornings feel, how your stamina changes, how your confidence shifts, not just in the bedroom, but in every part of your day. Because vitality after 60 isn't an accident. It's the result of small, deliberate choices, repeated until they become part of who you are. And you deserve that. Not someday, not if it's easy, but starting now. If you're ready, make that choice today. Your next chapter is still being written. You get to decide whether it's powered by decline or by strength, clarity, and the quiet confidence that you're still very much alive. And if hearing this today gave you even a small spark of motivation, I'd love to know. If something in today's video spoke to you, I'd truly love to hear it. Leave a comment and share what's on your mind. And if you know a friend or brother who could use a little encouragement, pass this along to him. Subscribe so we can keep walking this road towards strength and vitality together.